buy now, pay later sounds harmless, but in Malaysia, it's becoming a growing problem, becoming into a debt trap with pretty packaging. A 5,000 ringgit phone, you just split it into multiple payments of 114 ringgit a month. The next thing you know, you're juggling 5 items, 5 bills, left with zero savings. Yeah, I think this thread hits a lot of things on the spot, which is why I decided to research more about buy now, pay later and talk to you guys about it today. Now, on the surface, buy now, pay later is very straightforward, right? You just buy it now, you get the item right now, and you think about paying later. That's exactly what the companies want you to think. They want you to consume first, then only think about money later. It actually encourages the consumerism culture by splitting payments into multiple months or years. And there's also this thing called the temporal discount. Because payments are stretched across multiple months or years, rather than forking out the money upfront with cash, you actually feel the pain gradually over the next few months. So one buy now, pay later, let's say if you use it to purchase a new iPhone at like 170 ringgit a month, sounds quite harmless, right? Because you tell yourself that, oh, I'm currently earning 3,000 ringgit and then 170 ringgit per month only ma. Let me just get involved with it lah. But the next thing you know, you will have the same mindset for multiple different items. You start telling yourself that, oh, this fitness watch, I need a new one lah. My old one is actually pretty old already, about 2 years old. I want this new, most modern one. Let me just get it at 105 ringgit per month. Then after that, you will start stacking up more and more buy now, pay later installments, which at the end of the day will constrict you. When further reduce your affordability, you will be left with no savings every month because you're juggling between 4 to 5 different installments. So that is the very real danger of buy now, pay later. And the companies, they tend to use manipulative marketing to make you think that you can afford all these type of luxuries. And this is directly snapped from Atome. They say that, oh, get it today, split your purchase into 3 or more payments. Some things in life shouldn't have to wait. Your wants, it must be fulfilled right now. You don't have to wait to save up enough money. Reward yourself with the finer things in life. Guess what? If you use our service, you can redeem exclusive rewards, you get some instant cashback, you can play some games as well. All of this marketing tactic is as old as time. They want to keep you there and they want to make sure that you buy more and more items with them. And obviously with this buy now, pay later thing, they just adjust your perception a little. They just say that, oh, everything that you want, actually you shouldn't wait one. You can get it right now at 120 ringgit per month. And that leads a lot of people to think that they can afford much more than they actually can in reality. Now, some people argue and say that, hey, at the end of the day, buy now, pay later is just a credit tool. It's pretty much the same as credit cards. No, actually, it's very different. Credit cards, at the end of the day, when your statement arrives, you have to pay the balance in full. So it's a bit different from cash. So you pay upfront with cash, you feel the pain immediately, that 5,000 ringgit to buy a new iPhone, right? If you use it with credit card, you feel the pain at the end of the month when your statement arrives, right? And in worst case scenarios, after 21 days without clearing your statement, credit card companies charge 15 to 18% interest accruing every day. But when it comes to buy now, pay later, because the installments are 0% interest, you keep thinking that, oh, actually, it's very worth it. Let me just get involved with it because I can afford this monthly payment, right? But if you do miss a late payment, that's where they start to rake in the cash. Because each late payment, they charge a flat fee of 23 to 30 ringgit. This is the case for Atome. Okay? And imagine you are paying 100 ringgit across 3 months and then you miss 1 month payment. That's an extra 20 to 30% interest. Okay? Much higher compared to what credit cards are charging. So right now, more and more people are using buy now, pay later. It actually more than doubled from 2023 all the way to 2024 to 5.1 million active users. The majority of these users are actually not financially well-to-do. You can see this stat over here. 7 in 10 of them fall into the B40 income group. And why are they using this service? Because it's their only source of personal financing. And right now, this is a major problem. Buy now, pay later doesn't have a lot of gateway checks like credit cards. They don't have credit checks, income requirements, background checks. They don't ask for your salary slip. They don't check your employment history, right? And this convenience is actually meant to target lower income individuals. And unfortunately, these individuals are not just low income, they are not really financially educated as well. If you take a look at Shopee's S Pay Later, right, the only requirements are these three. You be a Malaysian, in between 18 to 64 years old, you got a good My Card, you're good to go already. You can start taking on cheap debt. If you look at some additional stats, it actually shows that the average buy now, pay later transactions, they are of low value, ranging from about 70 to 90 ringgit. Which means people are using this to not only acquire luxury items, but they are veering towards daily items already, like food, entertainment, groceries, etc. Right? And if you're not careful, we may just end up like the US lah in the coming years. In the US, buy now, pay later is so severe that 1 in 2 Americans, they are using that service to acquire their essentials. They've become so quote unquote poor to an extent where their $50 grocery bill, they have to split it into 3 installments in order to pay it off. And if you look up on TikTok or perhaps on Instagram, right, all those influencers trying to encourage buy now, pay later, right, they'll say things like, oh, I just got this back at $120 per month. Next month, I'm supposed to pay $120 again, but I don't even know what's going to happen to me next month. I just want to have this back right now. You can see that it's trying to warp your thinking in terms of affordability. Okay, and this chart over here, I mean, this meme over here pretty much explains everything. So buy now, pay later isn't a problem. The mindset is we're not upgrading our lives, we're upgrading our liabilities. If you can't buy it twice, you shouldn't buy it once. Delay the flex, buy with power, not pressure. Break free from the monthly payment mindset. So a lot of good points over here. But I just disagree with a few. Buy now, pay later isn't the problem. Well, it actually is. Because right now, there aren't a lot of regulations on this area. Because if you look at what the source has published, which is the Credit Consumer Oversight Board, short for CCOB, they published this. They say that the default rate for buy now, pay later is less than 1%. So it doesn't seem like a problem, right? But you can see where this leads to, right? Especially with Malaysians' low income and then buy now, pay later service providers getting more and more users, right? More and more people are more tempted to acquire things that they cannot actually afford. Now, does this mean that all debts are bad? Well, not necessarily. It depends on what you use those debts for. So there's a two-step checklist. Okay, number one, make sure that the interest rates are below 5%. Then it's generally considered a good debt. That's the first test. Second test is this debt used to acquire assets or not? I.e. PTPTN. A PTPTN is a very good debt. Why? Because you are using it to study. Once you get your degree, that degree can be used to generate more money, i.e. it's an asset. Right? Same thing goes for ASB financing. Your work equipment, right? Let's say your laptop broke down, cannot use already. You buy a new one, right? And that new laptop allows you to generate money. Similarly, car also is also roughly the same thing, right? Although it's a bit debatable. If you buy a car that you can comfortably afford, drives you to work, meets your clients, generates you income, these are considered as good debt. Now, a bad debt is when the interest rates are higher than 5% and they are used for consumption rather than asset purchases. So if you take up a debt to go for a holiday in Japan, it's already considered a bad debt, even though the interest rates are low. Okay, remember, you have to pass this two-step checklist. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a rhetoric question. Buy now, pay later. What do they typically advertise? Luxury items, things you cannot afford, right? Just whatever your wants, just get it now, right? And because it is used for consumption, even though the interest rate is zero, Well, the answer is pretty obvious lah, whether it's a good or a bad debt. Now, some people will say that, hey, Shinji, I think you are just talking about a lot of catastrophic things. Personally, I use buy now, pay later. I don't have any problems with this. Why are you so negative, right? Well, buy now, pay later is actually very good if you know what you're doing, especially for those people who are well versed in their finances, right? What they tend to do is number one, they save up enough to buy the item for cash. Or in the best case scenario, they save up enough to buy it twice. Right? And then they place the money in places that can grow their savings. At the same time, they make their payments in a timely manner. So you will get some additional profit while paying off the things that you currently want. Because at the end of the day, you have already saved up enough for cash already, right? So that is the strategy if you are still insisting to use buy now, pay later. But for me, personally, I have never tried buy now, pay later, and I'm not really interested to try. Okay. So last slide over here, consumerism culture. Yeah, this one is more of a modern thing now, okay? As our lives get more and more digitalized, right? People tend to show the finer, quote unquote, finer things in life. If you are realizing that this is depleting your savings, then it's probably time to ask yourself what wealth means to you. Because to me, it's the freedom to spend time with my family and friends where I'm less stressed about money. I get to say, I'd rather not earn that additional 1,000 ringgit. I'd rather use it to spend with my family and friends. And that to me is really true wealth, where you can make choices freely. So probably go back tonight after tonight's session, think about what wealth truly means to you, and take a look at this slide over here. Okay, what are good debts and bad debts, and when you should consider them. Shout out to all our gatherer members: CH, G, Jinden, Andrew, Wendy, Alex, CC, Urshad, Caveman, Kelvin, Tommy, Jinkang, Adrian, JS, Duhan, Sufi, Faris, Alan, Jackson, Ryzen, Hudson, Jeffrey, Lukman, Jack, Kartik, Arif, Melvin, Leander, Adam, Ashley, Sean, Jason, Putra, Alvin, Aldrin, Chai Wei, Fami, Kim Yip, Justin, Michelle, Aisha, Chi Sing, Wen Yi, Elvin, Vivek, Gajin, and Rave, as well as all of our learner members.